Okay. Black Monday is a new Showtime comedy which provides a fictionalized accounting of the stock market crash of 1987, starring Golden Globe winner Don Cheadle. I'm at Noble Gold Derby here with Casey Wilson, who plays Tiff Georgina on the series. Casey, in a show full of sex, drugs, and stock portfolios, what was the most outrageous thing you were asked to do?
Well, I play an abusive woman, so I had to abuse Andrew Rannells multiple times, and I'm just physically, emotionally abusive. I also had to, grab his manhood several times. There was just really nothing Tiff wouldn't do. But the craziest, my wedding song, we danced to the Star Spangled Banner, and when I got married, and that was crazy for a wedding song for a couple to choose the Star Spangled Banner. I know you're not from America, but you wouldn't normally choose that song.
Yeah, we wouldn't choose our national anthem for something like that either down here. And I've heard, I know the Star Spangled Banner, so it made sense
Yeah.
when I was watching. Let's talk a bit about that scene. How did that come together? How much did you have to rehearse it? What was it like to film? All that sort of stuff.
So we were going to do, I can't even remember another song. And to be quite frank, it was the end of the season and they had run out of budget for music 100%. So they said, we can't do it. And Andrew Rannells said, we can. How about we go to music that's free, public domain? And he came up with the Star Spangled Banner and figured that my character is like a huge Republican, all about money and greed and, in the 80s and now. And basically, so we just danced to that and we had a choreographer. It was so much fun and so stupid, and like red, white, and blue outfits, and like another guy's waving an American flag behind it. And it was just so stupid. An important, very important scene.
Yeah, how many takes did it take to get that down?
We did a bunch. It was so much fun. And we rehearsed it the day before. And Andrew can really dance because he's been on Broadway. And I have never been asked to be on Broadway. But I think after that scene, I will be, most likely.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. The calls are going to roll in soon.
For your characters, did you have to dance like a little, like, did you have to get a bit of dancing training and then he had to like do a bit worse than he usually does? So it was like aligned?
Yeah, I mean, I tried to raise my bar as high as I could, and he definitely lowered his, I'm sure. So we kind of met in the middle. Yeah. I think he's used to working with professionals, So he says that and this is an insult, I think, in the Broadway world, a singer who moves.
Okay.
Like you can't dance whatsoever. And I mean, I can't really sing either, so I don't know what I'm saying.
So, Casey, let's talk a bit, and you touched on it already, a bit about your relationship dynamics with Andrew Rannells and the character he plays, Blair. As you say, you're a bit abusive. You literally grab him by the balls. And how did that, what was it like playing those scenes, and how did that develop over the course of the season?
Well, and look, obviously I don't take abuse lightly whatsoever, but this was a comedy and certainly tilted towards the absurd. And my character is just incredibly money hungry. And so right from the pilot, which was directed by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, they really pushed it to just be as absurd as possible. And Andrew is a bit of a meeker character, and my family owns Georgina jeans, kind of like based on Jordache jeans. And I'm just like hell on wheels. But then we kind of, over the season, felt like, well, why are they together at all? And so we tried to amp up as though we have a very passionate sex life. So we tried to integrate that beautifully into the story. Give it some layer and depth.
And like, I guess like there is that question of like, do these two belong together, or what are they doing together and stuff over the course of the season? Do you think that like, how does that evolve or develop as the story changes and as Blair becomes more entrenched in the Wall Street world?
I mean, I think, when I meet him, I think he's got a big future, and he's obviously, I mean, Andrew Rannells is incredibly handsome, and I've never seen a human not become completely charmed by him in life. So I was playing off of that and fall in love with him, like man, woman, moms, grandmas, everyone. So, but I think over the course of the season, he becomes completely unhinged and kind of realizes that he's with this just complete bitch, to be honest. And we just had fun with it. I think, I won't spoil it, but over the course of the season, a lot's more revealed about him and kind of his inner life, I would say. But yeah, they're not a great match. They don't bring out the best in each other, I would say. And I think Tiff really wants him to be this like all-star on Wall Street, but then is upset the way he's having to do it and all of that.
Yeah, it's interesting. She sort of pushes him, particularly at the beginning of the season, to break out of his shell, and in some ways that's what pushes him away from her even more.
Yeah. Yeah, and then he kind of takes up a bit he has a crush on Regina Hall's character, Dawn, and that's its own whole thing. And I mean, it's difficult as a character to compete with Regina Hall, I'll tell you that. Just because she's so amazing. I would date her myself. Yeah, I think like he gets into the world and Tiff is just such a relic from like a gross kind of blue blood kind of thing with her parents. And then of course I get kidnapped and that's a twist.
Yeah.
For my yeah.
Yeah, a lot happens in the show. I think like I think in one of the last episodes, one of the characters goes like, "Boy, it's quite a day," or something like that.
Yeah, quite a day. Quite a day.
Yeah. What did you have a favorite scene with Andrew over the course of the series, other than the dance scene, obviously?
Yeah. I mean, I love the scene where he's told me not to buy anything. He doesn't have a job and my parents are so rich. And so I keep wanting to like fall back on them and just saying like, let my dad pay for everything. We live in a shithole. And he says, no, you can't buy a new washer dryer or anything. But I do. Of course, I buy every single appliance in this like teeny tiny apartment and he's furious. And he's also coming off of having done cocaine all night. So he comes home and he's furious and we start screaming at each other and I turn on all the appliances, the blender and the washing machine, and just start screaming at him that I'd rather have sex with my father than him. That was fun.
Yeah. Great line.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've done, as an actress, you've done a lot of different comedy over the years, from sketch comedy, network comedy, guest roles and things. What is different about the comedy in Black Monday and how you approach it as an actress from other comedy you've done in the past?
Well, Black Monday, I think, has a specific tone that it's just different. It's many things kind of in one show. It's like a mystery, but it's also got, I think, really hard comedy and very like written joke comedy, but it's also got heart. And it's set in the 80s. So it's kind of its own animal, I think. And I think Tiff, for me, normally, sketch characters, or I'm playing like the friend, or, I've played all those kind of parts. I think it was fun to play someone who's like very sharp, almost like theatrical and fun. I mean, and Andrew kind of lends himself, I think, to that acting style as well. And then the costumes and the hair is so crazy that it was just much of a more like, that makes sense, like a sharper character than I normally play. But also, my husband created the show and he created Happy Endings. And so there's definitely similar humor in both, even though they're wildly different shows, I would say.
Yeah. And what was there something that was a particular challenge for you, or something you found a bit difficult to approach in the series? Casey, I can't hear you now. Your mic's gone muted or something.
Hold on. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. You guys
take that question from the beginning, just start that answer again. Yeah.
I think, this character is very broad, but then also has real moments of heart, which I love to do, but don't necessarily get, full opportunities to do that range normally, because I've done network comedies and I'm actually doing an HBO show now, but it doesn't have the broadness either. So that was kind of interesting to play these very comedic scenes and then kind of shift into more serious territory and more like emotional, heartfelt moments.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm grateful to have the part because I don't often, get those opportunities. So it was really fun and kind of unexpected from that character, I think.
Yeah. Do do you have a favorite or a particularly interesting moment from shooting the series?
I think favorite was the day I shot all my scenes with Regina Hall, who I was so in love with in Girls Trip and Support the Girls. Like she's just amazing and such a good actress, and so I'm in awe of her because comedically she's very subtle, but she's such a funny person. And so we shot all of these scenes at my bachelorette party where she's the only one who shows up. And it was so much fun. And they were also kind of heartfelt scenes, but also completely ridiculous. And she's just so much fun and wearing like a rainbow colored eyeshadow that was hard to look at, I'm so crazy. And then Cheadle was in that scene, and I didn't get to have a ton of scenes with him, so it was so much fun.
Yeah. What do you think? Who's the most fun actor on set? Who's the funniest?
Probably me. No.
Yeah. Present company is good.
Yeah, present company.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's really funny. Who's really funny, and I didn't get to do a bunch of scenes with them, but their friend of mine is Paul Scheer, who I love. And Yasser, the two of them are my pals, and Yasser Lester. And they're just hilarious guys. And Horatio Sands. I wish I had more with them just because they're all pals and just so funny. But we had a blast on set with them. So they make me Yasser makes me really, really laugh. And he was also a writer on the show and just an amazing actor and person. So and he plays a character named Yasser.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, the guys in the bullpen, I can imagine that would be quite funny and fun.
They've got a lot going on.
Well, sorry?
They've got a lot going on, those guys.
Yeah, there is a lot going on there. So, Casey, it's set in the 80s, the show. Is there a particular prop or set or costume or something like from the 80s that you particularly enjoy?
Well, I had one scene that I truly couldn't believe. And I mentioned, I think my husband's one of the creators, but I was presented on set a scene where my character has to masturbate with an 80s vibrator. That is, I can't even show you. It was humongous, and they got it off of eBay. It was used.
Oh my!
It was disgusting, but that really, got me in character.
Yeah.
Thoroughly, and it had, it was like plugged into the wall, and it just really made us.
Yeah, that is cool. I like love how the prop people would have had to like hand in the receipt for that one too. But
and it's like a sweet older guy had to hand it to me. I was like, this is a nightmare.
Yeah, oh, that's good. What's do you with this? It's about stock market crash in 1987. You were very young when that happened. Did you know much about this stock market crash, about Black Monday before starting the series?
Certainly not. And thank you for saying I was young. I was.
Oh no, Casey, your mic. I can't hear you again.
I don't have a mic, huh? Let me see.
I don't know. I can hear you well now, so keep going.
Okay, sorry. I certainly didn't know of it when I was younger, but over the years, obviously learned more. And my husband's father's a trader, and so he and his partner Jordan Cahan, who created it, David, and wrote it, and it's wonderful. They kind of got the idea from his dad, and so I'd heard a lot of stories about just trading in the 80s and how insane it was, and truly just wild stories. And so my husband has always been very interested.
Yeah. Oh no, Casey, I can't hear you again.
I don't know what to do. I don't know.
I can hear you now. So it's just going a little bit in and out, but not too bad. No, it's fine. No dramas.
Service at this house.
Yeah.
Okay.
Could be that. Could be sometimes computers can be a little glitchy and things like that. Yeah. Who knows? What do you think? Are we going to be back for a season 2?
I think we are. We don't know officially, but I think so. I hope so. I don't know my involvement given where I left off at the end of the season, but I think I'll be in there. So my fingers are crossed. We're not sure, but I feel like we will. Been wrong before.
Yeah. And we'll wrap up, Casey, by talking about what is your favorite thing about Black Monday? And you can take this as an actress going into work on it or as a viewer watching the show.
I think I mentioned, but the tone of the show is really different. And I think in TV right now, it's great how many different tones people are experimenting with. Like I've just become obsessed with Pen 15, for instance, and people are like bringing their own completely unique tone and style. And I think I just love how it vacillates between all these different tones from comedic and then Regina and Dawn are in kind of an emotional, like, will they, won't they? And Paul Scheer's character is going through so much where you think it's just comedic, but he's got a whole relationship story. But it's also just got hard, funny jokes, in the vein of like a Kimmy Schmidt or something. So I think it's a very unique tone. And once you kind of like click into it, I love watching it. And it was really fun to do.
Yeah.
And working with Regina and Don and Andrew was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, thanks, Casey. And to all your viewers, you can go. What, sorry?
I just said you're welcome. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thanks, Casey. To all your viewers, you can go to goldderby.com right now and make your predictions so you can compete against the experts, editors, and other fans and prove if you are the smartest procrastinator in Hollywood. But before you go, click our subscribe button on this video so you're alerted to our other guest chats with top contenders. Thanks so much for chatting with us, Casey.
Thank you so much. Bye.
No worries. Bye. And I've stopped the recording.
Okay. Yeah.